Newhaven Park is one of Australia's oldest thoroughbred nurseries and stallion farms. 4 Golden Slipper winners have been bred on the Kellys' property, and their famous red, green, black and white colours have raced to Group 1 glory recently on the likes of English. New season 2-year-olds by their young stallion Delago Deluxe are getting rave reviews from trainers, and the farm looks just stunning right in the middle of spring. Well, John, it's fabulous to get to Newhaven Park and see it looking so green. Obviously, there's been a lot of rain, but, you know, it's such an amazing property with such a wonderful history.
Yes, well, it's a wonderful season. It'll be the best season we've had here for 20 years, so we're very fortunate.
The history of the place is just, undeniable. You look around and you see, obviously, the old pine tree where old John Kelly is buried, and the barns and everything, the work that's been done to really keep it up to date as well. You are a mix of the past and the future.
Oh, definitely. Well, we're obviously very proud of what my grandfather achieved, and then my father and his brother, and we're obviously trying to carry on the tradition.
Tell us a bit about that history. I mean, Newhaven was originally named by a former owner who won on Newhaven in the 1896 Cup Sweep, in the Melbourne Cup Sweep, named the property after Newhaven, but then since then it's been in your family.
Yeah, since the early 1900s. My great-grandfather purchased Newhaven, and he was only a sheep farmer, and my grandfather bought his first horse in 1945, and he was fortunate enough to get Wilkes early on, which gave him a great kick along in the breeding business.
So, I mean, what an amazing stallion. 3 Golden Slipper winners, Vane, John's Hope, Vivace, and just the legacy goes on. You still see Wilkes back in the pedigrees of so many champions. Yes,
well, he was a sire of precocious horses, obviously Golden Slipper winners, and Australian racing's about speed, so he continues on.
You've bred 4 Golden Slipper winners. You know, we look at some of the people that are breeding 1 or 2 and thinking they're the great breeders, but it just shows an amazing background of knowing how to breed the right horses to the right stallions.
Yes, well, you need a lot of good fortune to breed good horses, so we've been fortunate with that, but we focus on speed and early 2-year-olds, so it's been paying off. Yeah, you speak of horses like Luskin Star, Marauding, who you did buy, but obviously saw a lot of potential in him, and Zedative, he's been a wonderful horse for you as well. And 16 place getters in the Golden Slipper. What is, obviously speed on speed is what you're sort of looking at, but what other criteria do you use when you're picking a mating for a mare with a stallion? Oh, well, it's a very in-depth process, and Tom and Charles and Richard, everyone's involved, and we have long discussions, and then finally we come to a conclusion. But we like to find nicks that work. That's probably the best way to describe it. We look for the nicking of the blood, and it's served us well. Your new stallion, Delago Deluxe, well, he's from a fabulous old Australian family, a multiple Group 1 winner in South Africa. What was it that attracted you to him? The speed. He was an unbeaten 2-year-old. He won the South African equivalent of the Golden Slipper, and then came back and won their equivalent of the Newmarket as a 3-year-old against the older horses. And an Australian horse, Australian pedigree, bred here, and then went over there. Very successful horse, really good looking horse, as you saw today, and he's passed that on to his progeny, so hopefully he can pass it on his racetrack ability as well. I mean, he really is a gorgeous horse. $550,000 as a yearling. That tells you something, obviously, about the type that he is. What sort of mares suit him? He looks to have a fabulous temperament, and he has amazing speed to burn. When he took off in that paddock, he can still run. Yeah, he can still run. I think that we like to put Zedative mares have done very well with him. Obviously, the reason that we took him was because we thought that we could mate him reasonably well, and there's a few things that are working, but obviously the racetrack will be the final test. Well, the 2-year-olds are getting good reviews so far, and yearling sold well, and a lot of people were likening him to another son of Encosta Delago, Northern Meteor, and he is a similar bulky, lovely build, isn't he? Yes, well, he's a very good looking horse. He's got a lovely short back and beautiful head, lovely range, so. and he's passed that on, so hopefully he can, if he's as good as Northern Media, we'll all be happy.
Exactly. Well, it's a fabulous year you're coming off. Of course, English, your homebred.
English in front of the All-Age, and English gets in from Blackheart Bart.
The Coolmore Classic, of course, to Peeping, a real homebred. Sadly, she's been lost to you, but a homebred who now has another little foal coming through, a little half relation.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Tom Bred Peeping, and he had a lot of good fortune winning a Group 1 and then losing. It was very disappointing to him, but then this morning he's got a half-sister, so he'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, this is a Medaglia d'Oro Miss Marielle filly, so 5 hours old and trying to lie down. This is something a lot of people don't see. They think, you know, horses, they just get straight up when they're born and they nurse and they do everything right. But they have to learn how to use their legs, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's, you know, like, I find it fascinating. I've been here a long time now, but that's the thing that I actually enjoy more than anything else, is the horses and watching them learn to get up and drink and run and all those things like that. That's what makes the horse business what it is.
Oh, it's a beautiful foal. And then we saw a few other beautifully bred horses. Shibboleth, now she's a three-quarter sister to English, had a Schnitzel filly as well, so more of that wonderful blood.
Yes, oh, well, it's a family. We've got some lovely fillies out of that family this year. The foals, obviously, you saw the one out of Puzzle and the one out of Shibboleth, and hopefully Cord will have a filly, so you know, it's exciting times.
Of course, Puzzle has the Exceed and Excel foal, has the head markings a lot like English, as your daughter pointed out to us last night, but just striking, isn't it? Just exactly the same, the white.
It is quite amazing. You know, she's by Exceed and Excel, and she's out of a half-sister, but it is amazing because they're quite striking markings, unusual for any horse, so to get two of them is quite amazing.
Invest is just a beautiful looking mare from Unearthly, who was of course a wonderful race filly herself, and she was an Oaks winner, Invest. And this Reduced Choice colt is one of the best foals you'll see, isn't it? He just walks out beautifully and has real character about him.
Yes, he's a very nice horse. He's got a bit of character, and he, as you said, a lovely walker and lovely short back, and yeah, no, he's an exciting horse.
Another one we looked at, Fashion Medaglia d'Oro colt. So again, you're spreading out where you send these mares to. What are your justifications, say, for a stallion such as Medaglia d'Oro? He gets Golden Slipper winners, but he gets stayers as well.
Yes, well, he's had a wonderful year this year so far with his 2 3-year-olds, and so he's an exciting stallion, and you know, she's very much an Australian colonial mare, so we're hoping that we might be able to breed something there. And
you actually, I guess a lot of stud managers don't do this. You foal down you are there for every foaling on the farm. Yes, if you can be, yeah.
If I can be. Some people would call it obsessive compulsive. But yes, well, I think our clients and ourselves, we put a lot of time and effort into getting them to that point, and it's one of the critical points, getting a live foal. So, you know, I think it's important.
And there are so many of you involved in the farm, obviously. You know, your father, Rich, is still so involved, and everyone else in the family. How do you, on a daily or weekly, monthly basis, work out what the plans are for the farm?
Probably daily, you know, I work that out. And on a long-term basis, Charles and Richard and I, you know, we would speak every day. So, you know, we sat down a few years ago and worked out our plan, what we'd like Newhaven to be, which was to continue the traditions, which was breeding good horses. And we've been very fortunate. We've got some wonderful support from some clients, and it's been working out really well the last few years. So, you know, we just want to have a boutique band of brood mares and you know, breed good horses.